Good morning. Thank you to everyone who's joined us this morning. Welcome to PCTEL Solutions for the Rail Marketplace, providing rugged and reliable connectivity for your network. We really want you to leave today's webinar with two main takeaways: a better understanding of PCTEL and our presence in the rail marketplace, and two, key products that we developed to address the emerging technologies of 5G and GNSS. After today's presentation, our webinar will be available on PCTEL.com. I'd like to introduce our guest speaker today, Juan Verenzuela, who is our Vice President of Product Management and Strategy. Good morning, Juan.
Good morning, Maribeth. Thank you for that introduction, and thank you for everybody joining today. So today we're going to cover three main topics. The first one is going to be a brief overview of PCTEL in the rail industry. The second one is going to be about the technology drivers and some of the new requirements that we're getting from our customers. And lastly, how are we developing solutions to be able to meet these new requirements. So the first comment I would like to make is that this is going to be a first chapter on a webinar series that PCTEL will be doing. So today we're going to do an overview of some of these solutions, and then we're going to develop some in-depth technical webinars to go into each of these areas in more depth. So we'll do 5 follow-up webinars, one on wayside solution, high rail, passenger, trains, antenna farms, and lastly, we'll do one about test and measurements in IoT. So looking forward to see you all on those follow-up webinars. So to start with, I hope most people in the call knows PCTEL, knows the brand, and knows some of the products that we put into the market. But I thought it would be good to give you a brief introduction. So PCTEL, we're known for delivering products for connectivity in critical communications. We're a hardware company at heart, and when we say critical communication, meaning that we develop products that need to work when you need it the most. So quality for PCTEL is paramount. Because of that, we have been supporting the rail market for over 15 years now, and we are considered the leader in rail antenna solutions in the US. Apart from antennas, however, we do have 2 additional product lines, test and measurement and IoT, which I'll be introducing in the follow-up slide. And lastly, we are headquartered in Bloomingdale, Illinois, but we're a global company. We have offices across Europe and Asia Pac. We have over 600 customers, and we're currently serving customers in over 15 countries. So we have a pretty global footprint. So introducing some of the solutions that we have, we are able to provide antenna solutions and any wide range of antennas. We've been doing that for almost 28 years now, and a lot of the applications in the critical operations market. And I'm going to keep repeating these critical operations because I think it's really important as we talk about the value of PCTEL. However, apart from antennas, we have a whole test and measurement segment that we also have been supporting for over 20 years, all the way back to 3G, 4G, and now 5G. If you look into any of the tier 1 global operators in the world, you will see that they're actually using our test gear for test and measurement. So as an example, in the US, if you go into any T-Mobile, Sprint, Verizon office, you'll see thousands of our scanning receivers being used for testing. In fact, our first 5G scanning receiver was actually introduced back in 2017. So we've been working for 5G quite some time. So what we have done with that is we actually have repurposed some of the engineering that we have in those products, and we have developed specific solutions for the rail market. And lastly, the newest addition to our product portfolio is our industrial grade IoT devices, access points, radio modules, and sensors. Again, following up the same thing in PCTEL about quality and critical operations. So in terms of our antennas, and in terms of our test and measurement equipment, if I try to put in all the technologies that we support, this would be a pretty busy slide. So I thought it would be easier just to comment that anything between LMR all the way to 5G and any technology in between, we can actually support with all our antennas and test and measurement devices. Lastly, on the IoT devices side, we have a Wi-Fi access point, industrial grade, and some of our sensors and IoT solutions support a range of capabilities. On the backhaul side, we can support things like BLE, LoRa, and cellular for backward communication. So specific to rail, as I mentioned before, we've been working on this space for over 50 years, and across that timeline, we have worked in several aspects of the rail industry. So this slide that I'm showing right now illustrates a little bit of all the places that we have touched at some point during our experience, and some of the solutions and value add that we have been provided on the industry. Just to mention a few, when it comes to positive train control, we have done a lot of work on the wayside side of things, but also on the antenna farms, and I'll talk about that a little bit and all the engineering that goes into designing those. But at the same time, we have done a lot of solutions for track monitoring and maintenance. And even if you work in the ecosystem, when we talk about cellular base stations and small cells, more than 80% of any base station that you see in the US is actually using our GPS timing antennas. And that's part of the GPS and GNSS background that we're bringing into some of the new solutions that we're putting together. So getting into the technology drivers, and I think that's one of the main purpose of this webinar today, is to talk about some of the new requirements that we're seeing in the market, and hence some of the solutions that we're developing for those. So the two key drivers that we see in the market today are high precision GNSS and upgrades into 5G. So in the case of GNSS, some of the requirements that we're getting is be able to support additional bands, in this case going from L1 to L2 and L5. And in the case of 5G, obviously upgrades into everything that has to do with the FR1 bands for future solutions, where that is broadband 5G or private networks. The interesting part of this is that the requirements that we're getting is actually combining these two technologies into a single platform. And that's where things become really engineering driven. That's where the value of PCTEL stands out, is how we can come up with a platform that can combine the best of GNSS and the best of 5G without compromising performance, and providing the same quality that we have done with each of those, as I said, in critical operations. So what we'll talk about next is some of these case studies. What are some of these requirements that we're getting, and how is PCTEL addressing those? As you see here in this graph, which is a quick picture that shows all the different places that we're in and all the different kind of critical communication platforms that we have. So to make it specific to this webinar, the first case study that we have today has to do with wayside sites and wayside communication. As you all know, the communication between the trains and the wayside locations is really critical. It needs to be reliable, it needs to provide connectivity all the time. And some of the new requirements that we have is that these new wayside locations are able to provide connectivity for 5G, GNSS and L1 to 5, and in some cases, even 900 megahertz. Now, we have been providing antennas for the wayside sites for a few years. Actually, we have over 20,000 antennas already deployed in the US alone with the highest level of qualities. Those antennas are still there, they're still performing. So what we did is that we took all those lessons learned to develop a new platform that internally we call the Rocket platform to be able to support 5G. So what we have developed is a 5G FR1 broadband MIMO antenna with a vertical stack structure that supports, again, 5G and GNSS L1 to 5. Here, I'm leaving you the part number, so you can go into our website if you want to download the data sheet and get all the technical spec. So this antenna that we have developed is purpose-built. It was initially designed for wayside applications. It's a multi-band antenna to be able to achieve superior performance, easy to install, and obviously offering maximum durability for these type of applications. But lastly, because we're using different cellular elements, allows you to have a dual carrier compatibility. So if we get into more details about this wayside antenna, again, I will have to say that today, this is the most advanced wayside antenna in the market, which was developed for the next generation of PTC. The integration of these 5G elements and GNSS L1 to 5 in a vertical stack structure is, there is no other product like this in the market, and we're proud to say that it's the most advanced wayside antenna out there. Having said that, their application goes beyond wayside. So this is an antenna that can be used in other applications with other types of subscriber routers. So it could be used for networks fallback, it could be used for small cells. So apart from wayside, it has some additional applications. So some of the key features about this product is, as I said before, it has a MIMO design with broadband coverage in the RF elements. So that means that the 5G elements that you will see in this antenna, they go all the way from 600 megahertz to 6 gigahertz. So even though we're calling this antenna 5G antenna, the reality is you could do LTE, CBRS, 3G, and 2G with the same platform. So it's backward compatible. At the same time, it has a high rejection GNSS LNA technology, L1 to 5. This is a proprietary technology for PCTEL. And again, it's one of the only antennas that can provide this kind of performance along with 5G. We have different flavors of this antenna. So the first platform that you will see online, if you go into our website, is a 3-in-1 platform that is going to allow you to have 2 5G elements and 1 GNSS. In the next few weeks, you'll see a new platform coming out, which is going to have 4 5G elements and 1 GNSS. That's our 5-in-1 platform. And then towards the end of the year, there will be a new platform coming out that will have 2 5G elements, 1 GNSS, and also 900 megahertz capabilities, which is quite unique. 3 last comments on this platform is easy installation, in this case with a color mount for wayside installations, even though we're developing some new installation methods for other applications. Again, it's durable, rugged fiberglass housing, and it's really efficient the way that we manage the cable and the connectors, given the type of applications that we have. So that's the first case that we have for you all today. The second one has to do with high rail vehicles. So we have several customers coming to us with some requirements for providing connectivity to high rail vehicles. As you know, these vehicles are sharing the track with freight and passenger trains. And a lot of them are asked to be compliant with the high rail limit compliance system. That means that they need to have some sort of GPS connectivity to determine location. It needs to have some sort of backhaul to communicate back to the operator office, but also it needs to be able to do peer-to-peer communication with other high rail vehicles. So that means that it needs to provide connectivity with a multi-band, multi-technology platform. But at the same time, given where these vehicles are deployed, coverage is not the best. So connectivity is paramount, hence the deployment and the development you have to do needs to be a high-end type of antenna. So our solution for this is our newest CMTA platform. It's a 10-in-1 multi-spectrum antenna that was specifically developed for rail and specifically developed for intelligent transportation systems. It supports some of the high-speed requirements that we see in this type of environment. It is compliant with the HLCS system, but at the same time, it's a 10-in-1 antenna, which means that it can do multiple technology platforms in one single housing. It can actually do 5G, it can do Wi-Fi, GNSS, and also 900 megahertz. If we get into more detail about this particular antenna itself, it is probably one of the largest antennas that we have developed in PCTEL, but at the same time, it's really low profile to be able to comply with the requirements on intelligent transportation. So it has an element for multi-spectrum GNSS, which means that you can do L1 to 5. It has 4 5G FR1 ports, again, going all the way from 600 megahertz to 6 gigahertz. It has 4 Wi-Fi ports. And in addition to that, it has the option to include a 900 megahertz antenna, rod antenna for advanced train control systems. It's ultra rugged, and the last comment that I will make also into the design is that we're making it compliant with AR, given that it's going to be installed in some of these vehicles. Now, the great thing about this platform is also that it's compatible with some of the newest 5G radios in the market. So as an example, if you're looking into a DG TX64 5G rail cellular router, some of the newest train and rail routers that you see out there, this antenna is perfect for that. It's 100% compatible with that type of application. So really excited about this product. As I said before, it's one of the most complex and largest antennas that we have developed in PCTEL. The next case that I will mention here briefly has to do with passenger rail. We have quite a few solutions in the passenger rail, and as we do follow webinars, we'll get into more detail about all the capabilities that we have. But the platform that I'm showing here today is one of our best-selling platforms. It's our Coach 2 platform that we have recently upgraded to be able to make it compatible with some of the newest routers in the market. In this case, as an example, with some of the Sierra Airlink XR90 and XR80 5G routers, it comes with factory connectors. It has all the elements that you will need. The great thing about this platform, again, is it can support 5G, it can support Wi-Fi 6E, and also GNSS 125, all in a single platform. It's a proven platform that previous generations you have seen in several applications in rail, in several applications outside rail. But again, the common denominator has to do with critical operations. It's a great platform, great quality. Lastly, we did develop this platform to be IP67 certified. And apart from that, it actually is compliant with the AR and with EN certifications for deployments outside the US. So as I mentioned, we'll have more details about passenger solutions in follow-up webinars, but just want to give you an idea of some of the newest platforms that we're putting out there in the market. So the next case that I want to talk about is our antenna farm solutions. We have been providing antenna farm solutions for many, many years now into the rail industry. And the whole idea about the rail solutions that we provide here is, number one, we help you choose the right antenna for the right application. Number two, we help you optimize the positioning of the antenna in the roof of these rail vehicles and locomotives with the idea to maximize performance. Lastly, we can even help with anything related to cable arrays, to color coding to make it easy to install. So again, it's all about choosing the right antenna. It's about optimizing for best performance. It's about optimizing for easy installation. So the newest requirements that we have are similar. We have our customers coming in and asking us to upgrade some of these antenna farms for, again, 5G and GNSS. Something that I didn't mention at the beginning of the presentation is that PCTEL has several R&D offices across the world. Today, we have engineering R&D offices in our headquarters in Bloomingdale, Illinois. We have engineering offices in Akron, Ohio. We have engineering offices in Clarksburg, Maryland. And we have our newest engineering office out of Kista in Sweden. So we have a lot of engineering horsepower that we like to put out there to our customers, the value add when it comes to these type of solutions. So what is it that we do? Well, we do high fidelity modeling. We will take the requirements and constraints that you might have, and we'll do a whole analysis internally in our offices to define what is the best solution for your particular case. A lot of these solutions have to do with a multi-technology and multi-band array, which means that we can provide technology and antennas going all the way from 220 megahertz, going through CDMA, GSM, 5G, GNSS, Wi-Fi, any type of technology that you might need. So when it comes to antenna farms, in this particular example that you see here, at any given time, any of our antenna farm solutions, we have more than 10 products in there, and each product with a specific requirement and each product with a specific purpose. The key thing about this is that you need to optimize the positioning of these products. You need to be able to do modeling to be able to get the most out of the array. So what we do with our simulations in our engineering offices is we're able to determine the best and most efficient performance across all frequencies required. We make sure you have a consistent radiation pattern shaping across all the antenna platforms that you have installed. We optimize the energy and the gain energy. We have designs that are able to optimize port-to-port isolation. As I have been saying, we have a lot of experience with GNSS, which allows us to make sure we do the best high rejection in some of these platforms. And again, our housing in some of these products is of the top quality, being robust and have a really structured mechanical design. So it's a really unique solution. It's really customized, and a lot of the customers that we're working, even if you have platforms today that you're not using PCTEL, I think we have ways to optimize that for you, to do some upgrades to the antennas that require upgrade, and maybe reuse even some of the platforms that you currently have, but again, with the best performance in mind. And then the last case study that we'll talk about today has to do with test and measurement. So as I mentioned at the beginning of the presentation, we have been working in test and measurement for again, over 20 years now. And we have a lot of engineering into the devices that we develop for all these different technologies, going all the way from 2G to 5G. A few years back, we started to put in products out there that could do more than just cellular applications. So now we can actually do LMR, we can do P25, we can do DMR and Tetra, all supported under the same platform. So the whole idea of the rail solution that we have here is that we can use all the horsepower and engineering design of the scanner, but make it easy to use. We developed a software platform called Seahawk Touch, which is basically a tablet that connects via Bluetooth to the scanner. And this tablet is the one that is doing all the data collection. So if you, for instance, are in the rail tracks and you would like to see the coverage of Verizon, the coverage of T-Mo, the coverage of Sprint, using a single platform, which is a click of a button, that is what we do with our Seahawk solution. We have a feature that we call blind scan that actually scans the whole RF environment and really quickly allows you to give you a view of how, first of all, how many carriers you'll find, how many frequencies I see for Verizon, how many I see for T-Mo, how many I see for AT&T, and also allows you to see what the coverage looks like and performance. And when I say performance is because in the cellular side of things, coverage RSRP is not enough. So we're able to see beyond that, see quality, see SINR, see what the structured throughput might be for the particular coverage that you have. So we can put all that data together, we can create a report for you, and again, it's really easy for you to compare coverage for different carriers. Now, the great thing about this platform, it is the same platform that Verizon, again, AT&T and T-Mo uses for their own testing. So if you're trying to make them comply to any kind of SLA agreement, and you're doing some testing on the tracks, and you find that some of the coverage is not adequate and some improvements are needed, once you tell any of these carriers that are using PCTEL, you can just send them back the data, and they'll know how valid that data is and how easy it will be to use to troubleshoot what you have. So it's really unique. Again, a lot of engineering behind those devices, but the uniqueness of our product is that we're making it really, really easy to use. So today, you'll see here some of the rail kit that we're putting together. Is the 09503-01. It's a particular test and measurement kit for the rail market that comes with everything that you need. So it comes with the scanner, comes with the tablet, comes with the antennas, it comes with the battery pack, it comes with the batteries. So basically, you take it out of the Pelican case that comes with, and is ready to use. So this is the last slide that I have for all today. I wanted to make sure that I give a few minutes for questions. Just a few last thoughts that I wanted to leave you with. One, again, when it comes to rail, anytime you're thinking about antennas, anytime you're thinking about test and measurement, you should be thinking about PCTEL. If you're looking for the highest quality on products, you should be thinking about PCTEL. We take the quality and the design of our products really seriously, because we know we're in the critical operation space, and we know how important it is for these products to work for a long time, but at the same time to work best when you need it the most. So with that, I think we can open for a few questions on the chat. I don't know if there are any questions, Carla or Mary Beth.
No questions so far.
Okay, so we'll leave it open for a few minutes and see if we have any questions from the audience that we could answer today. If not, we will have this webinar available. Yes.
Asking if these solutions will work in Canada.
Yes, so I have been focusing a lot of the presentation in the US market specific because of some of the requirements that we have, but the platforms that we develop have a global footprint. So any of the platforms that we're developing today, their aim is for these products to work across the globe. So not just Canada, but Europe and Asia Pac, same platforms will work in all those locations. So yes, it will work in Canada. In fact, we have some pretty big customers that we do work in the rail space in Canada. Any other questions, Carla?
Yes, they're asking if you're going to be able to share this presentation.
Yes, so we'll have the webinar available in our website, and then we'll probably have a link where you will be able to download the presentation. As I mentioned before, today we wanted to give just a high overview of the solutions that we're putting out there. The follow-up webinars will go into technical details into each of them. We just felt that wanted to make sure we keep this webinar short, so we give people can actually schedule the time to come in and go on with the rest of the day.
And the other question is actually just everything in one. So if it's possible to get some samples of the products.
For some, yes, so it's a good question. So for some of the products, yes. Some of the products are substantially large, and they are some of the pricing is high. So it depends on the product, but I will say feel free to contact your distributor or sales direct sales representative, and we should be able to place some sample orders for you. Any other questions, Carla?
Are demos available?
I'm sorry?
Are demos available?
The demos available, yes. For the test and measurement, yes, they are. We can do demos online. In some cases, we can even go out there and do some testing on the field. So we can meet in a specific location and go ahead and do some testing. But yeah, demos are available from our side. And on the sample antennas, by the way, one thing I wanted to mention, when you get a sample antenna from PCTEL, I think it's great. You use it, you see the application, you see how well it works. But I also invite you in some cases is if you want to open up our antennas and compare our antennas with some of our competitors. When people talk about quality, it is until you open the antenna and you actually see how our products are manufactured compared to our competition, where you can clearly see why we stay where in the critical operations ecosystem. Carla, any other questions?
No, just a comment. Great presentation. Thanks very much.
Well, thank you, and I appreciate everybody joining today. Again, we're going to make these available in our website, and this is the first of a series of 5 presentations. Each of them will go into a lot more technical detail with my team. So I really invite you to participate on those and download as many technical information as you can from our website.